The A&R Room on Sway in the Morning.
Yes, indeed, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome. It's your favorite producer's favorite producer. You don't believe me? Ask Nas, ask 50, ask Jigga. He's worked with them all. Give it up for Rich. Nice.
Yeah, Rich.
Grand Rising.
What's up, Rich?
What up?
Oh, man. How's it going?
Good, man. Let them know where you were after midnight last few hours ago.
Yo, listen, let me tell you, I had a rough morning because, I don't really be out late like that no more. And we went to go see Toby and Igwe last night. The homie did a Q&A with him. That was great, by the way. It was a great Q&A. I see you do a lot of them, and felt very natural, like a conversation.
Okay,
and it was so interesting. It was so interesting because, today with DJ Moschino, I was happy that I was able to get that mix because, we play so much different styles of music, on the channel. And these guys play, specifically Moschino, he plays a lot of inspirational DJ sets. And we never really get too many inspirational DJs playing sets. It's always, the gangster DJ, the murder guy, the da-da-da-da-da. And it was so dope to get that and then go to the show and hear Toby give that same energy. So it's like the whole Sunday was like positive energy, just felt great. Until last night when I got into the car to come home. Man, I felt it in my knees.
Your knees.
Felt it in my knees, Tracy. Felt it in my knees.
Oh my God.
We had to exit the venue, Urban Plaza, and we ended up walking. I don't even know how long we walked. Is that what was going on, Rich? Was that happen with your knees?
Man, I think it was the walking. Yeah, I think it was the walking. And standing up. The energy, man. It was just great energy last night, man. It was great. And it feels good to be able to, especially on a Motivation Monday, to just wake up and feel good and talk with my peoples and feel good. It feel good, man. I'm highly favored and blessed.
There it is. That's nice,
Mm-hmm.
ladies and gentlemen. He
Love it.
He didn't come alone. He got a hip hop juggernaut with him. A true MC. Rich, break it down who we got on the line with us right now.
Man, this is a guy that when I first saw him rhyme, it was mind-boggling because the way he put sentences together and the way the words just kind of connect. It was like I was like, how sometimes you listen to an audible dictionary. I thought I was hearing a dictionary talk to me, and it was so crazy. And I was like, well, all his raps ain't gonna be like that. It's just one rap like that. And all his raps was like that. And it was so impressive that every time he came around us and every time he was in a circle, it was just, we would wait for his part. Almost like it wasn't even a song, but you would wait for him to step into the cipher. And he went on to do some great things like write TV shows and ghostwrite for other artists. And it was just incredible to watch. I watched some of the famous guys duck out the cipher when he stepped in. I'm not going to say no names, but I seen some famous guys duck out the cipher when he stepped in. And then he started a group with a guy that we all know, and they went on to do some great things, and then he started his solo career. I'm talking about none other than Wordsworth.
Wordsworth. You got to say it 3 times. Wordsworth. Shout out the punch, too.
What an intro, man. What an intro. Thank you. Good morning.
Absolutely.
Hey.
Tracy, let me tell you something about Wordsworth. When I first started hearing about him, we were doing the world famous Wake Up Show, and we were just we were staunch freestyle supporters. Like, our show was known for putting some of the greats, whether it was Craig G or Juice or Supernatural, Eminem, some of the greats early on in their careers had came up to the Wake Up Show, and we would hear, you didn't have the internet. So you would hear about people who was sick, who was ill. And Wordsworth, you had such a standout name to me. When I first heard your name, I thought, man, this dude must be sick as hell. His name is Wordsworth. And then I remember first seeing a clip or something of you emceeing and was like, yo, this is something different. This is this ain't just off the cuff, off the top of the head. This is understandable sentences being put together with vocabulary that's obviously beyond your average vocabulary. So you really made a mark on me and King Tech and our crew, just by yeah, man, absolutely, man. Welcome to the show, brother. Welcome to the show.
Hey.
Thanks for having me. Good morning, everybody.
Absolutely, and congratulations, Rich. You got a new project, right?
Yes, sir.
Congratulations on the new project. I want to talk about that in a second, but also congratulations on the anniversary. I mean, I believe I'm not sure exactly what date Lyricist Lounge started, but you're one of the founders of Lyricist Lounge on MTV, and I want to say congratulations on that anniversary. What day did it actually start?
The Lyricist Lounge TV show actually aired, I believe, if I'm right, in 2000. So it's about, that's for the TV show's about 20-some years, but for the actual Lyricist Lounge, it's 30 years anniversary. So shout to Danny Castro, Anthony Marshall. So yeah, shout to them.
Shout out to them. Okay, cool, man. Words, you done so much with your career, and I consider what you do in education and what you do, because I feel like you were educating as well as an MC. If you were to, when you reflect on your career, how would you assess your career in terms of what your expectations are and where it is?
Yeah, it was one of those things that I guess this was kind of like in the cards. Like I wasn't really sure, but when I was in college, I actually graduated from college writing everything in rhyme. Mm-hmm. And then from there, I just kind of was into doing the music. And then I think the support that I got from the academic side also influenced me in some realms, because I saw that I was doing something different, but I got the support. And now that I'm teaching, I kind of understand that I don't have to necessarily teach the way everybody else taught, because, I had gotten a good support system. Dr. Hicks and Professor Terrell, they said, this kid is doing something different. He's writing everything in rhyme. Let him flow. Now, if they would have shut me down, I'd probably be a whole different person.
So when you say
that's really
when you say you wrote everything, not to cut you off, but when you say you wrote everything in rhyme in college, like, put that in perspective. You wrote your thesis in rhyme? Like, did you wrote every paper
all my classes. I have the papers. I still have the papers and everything.
Wow.
I did poetry,
you should have been in Hamilton.
In rhyme. I did African studies papers in rhyme. I did intro to politics in rhyme, and I actually wrote the intro to politics talking about how Public Enemy uses rap music to inform society. I wrote that in rhyme. So I still have all of these papers from then. And I'm just happy I kept track of that, because a lot of us would be like, I don't need this, but I kept track of it. So yeah, every subject that I had, I wrote it in rhyme. Professors went to Dr. Hicks, which was the head of the ELA department, and she was like, this guy's doing something kind of similar to Harlem Renaissance, so just support him. And like I said, that support is huge, because if I had got shut down, I don't know where I would be.
Wow. Heather, you said he should have been in Hamilton.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you should. You absolutely should have been at Hamilton, Wordsworth. What's up? It's Heather. How you been?
How you doing? I'm doing great. How you doing?
Yeah, I'm glad, and I'm also glad that you kept your. I think we have a little delay. I'm having some issues with my thing though, but I got you. I'm so glad that you also kept up with your original works and your original writings. It's something that we've been talking about on this show for the past 10 years, just begging artists to keep up with their original things and keep up with the things that they write. I always felt like it was it's art. Well, not felt that way. I knew in my spirit and my heart that is our art and that is our work. Did you only start doing that then, or you still have every rhyme book, every notebook? Like, what else do you have?
I have a lot of the rhymes from back then. I have some of like my first rhymes from back then. But that also is what convinced me to do a book in 2020. I did a book called What Words Are Words, Volume 1. And what I felt was, we've been writing these rhymes for all these albums, and then a lot of us are like, we want to do books, right? A lot of us are like, man, I want to do a book. And I'm like, these rhymes are books already. to just convert that. So what Words of Word Volume 1 is actually one of my albums called New Beginning, and I actually break down every 4 bars. So that's available now, and it actually ended up being on Amazon's top 10 list of new poetry releases. So it shows that people are interested because a lot of I would say a lot of my audience, they're now kind of, we're all dealing with families and things like that, and a lot of people want to deal with whether it's some audio or something more of a read. So, some of us don't listen to the music as much as we did. So I just wanted to give another way that people could see that the lyrics were as potent without the music necessarily. So, yeah, so I think I suggest that to everybody. Everybody, all these rhymes, all these albums you've been writing, take those rhymes, put them in a book. That's poetry. All those rhymes you've been writing all these years.
And that's our art. Thank you for sharing that. I didn't even know you had a book. Thank you. I'm definitely going to pick it up. Thank you.
All right. Undivided attention.
And that's my plan. That's my plan for every album is to do those books because it just makes sense.
It does make sense. Undivided Attention is the name of the new album, soon to be the new book. Wordsworth is with us. Some of you may know him from EMC. You may know him from rhyming with Punchline early on. You may know him from the Lyricist Lounge show. You may know him for different reasons. You may have heard him on the TriTalk Quest album, or you might have saw him on Freestyle, The Art of Rhyme. That was a great film, The Art of Rhyme, right? How did you get involved with that?
Well, they ended up making it become a tour, which I thought was real dope. I believe Kevin Fitzgerald, he had all of his footage and he wanted to do a movie. But what was dope about doing the tour at that time, had me, Craig G, rest in peace, PH, Pumpkinhead, and Punchline, all of us. We went on tour, but what was dope was every time we did a show in Europe, right before the show, they would actually play the film. So I thought that was kind of dope. And it was really just him having all of this footage and trying to figure out the best way to compile it and get into that vibe of making a movie. So I think that's what really made it something special is the fact that the way that we toured with it, as opposed to just kind of like promoting it by doing music and wait till it comes to the theaters every night having a showing before we did it. But yeah, so that's how I got involved. Just a whole bunch of gathering of different footage that he had.
Well, I'm curious to it, and I apologize. I haven't talked to Words in a minute. So it's been a second. Rich mentioned you being a ghostwriter, and back in the day, it was taboo. It was prohibited. Like if you had it, the reason why you got ghostwriters is because people didn't want you to know, at least in rap, that you had somebody else writing your lyrics. And now, people are making the case that it doesn't matter if someone else writes your lyrics in rap, as long as you got a great song. What are your thoughts on that?
I think it's up to the person's individual integrity with how you feel. But if you're getting in the music business, that's part of the business. So I think, you have to adjust and go forward with it depending on what the situation is. So someone may approach me to write a song. I'm going to write the song depending on what the business dynamics are. But overall, I think you have to look at the integrity of what you're trying to do and what you're trying to convey. I mean, if you look at it there's so many ways to look at it, too. Some of the best speeches that I love, I love hearing Obama talk, but as a writer, speech writers. I love hearing some of the greatest orators have speech writers. So it all depends on how you want to look at it. I enjoy hearing it. If it's directly from you, of course. I love it. I love it. I think it actually may have a little bit more details and insight because you were actually there. As sometimes you can't portray something that's in somebody's mind because you weren't there, so you can do your best to convey it. But overall, I think once you understand getting into the music business aspect of it, that's when you understand as you evolve as an artist, that's one asset and one facet of being in the music business, being a writer, songwriter.
Any names you could reveal now? I think the statute of limitation is over.
Nah, I can't go there, but I have fun writing. I enjoy writing, and I think the main thing is just I enjoy storytelling. So as long as I'm able to write something that I think is going to be a good story, whether it's something in a book, whether it's something musically, I just enjoy doing it.
Okay. All right.
I'm wondering, Words, this is Tracy. I'm happy we're able to speak on the phone right now, my guy. Thinking of you also being a teacher and the curriculum that you've developed as well, meaning that you are constantly studying the way the game is in present times, where you think it's going to go in the future, where it was when you were first starting out, and even before. If you had to choose between coming out today, knowing that every decade of hip hop has its own challenges, has its own opportunities, which decade do you feel like brings the most opportunity to an artist?
I believe this decade brings more of opportunity because when I was younger, it was a lot of times you show up to a meeting and get canceled on you. They had you coming down, catching a train an hour, you sitting there outside the office, the purses ain't showing up, you signing deals without the knowledge. You know, you couldn't really find the knowledge. Now you could go online and go to YouTube and get information about what the word perpetuity means, what publishing is, what splits are, and things like that. So you're a little more organized, and you can do it on your own. You can just, if you want to start, we could do a song right now and then hit the enter button. It's uploaded. People could judge on their own, make the money directly. So I enjoy the way it is now from a marketing standpoint. But I definitely enjoyed it more from a 90s standpoint because I felt it was more challenging and a lot more it was a lot more substance and direction and integrity and the most of the artists that came out. It was a lot more originality too. So from an artist standpoint, I would say the 90s upbringing for me. But then from a business standpoint, I would say today is way better.
Got it.
Wow.
Great.
Let's talk about the 90s for a quick second because, you know, I first heard Eminem rap from you. You and Punch introduced me to Eminem rapping, and he wasn't even signed. He was just running around New York, and I had never heard of him before. Didn't know who he was, and you said, yo, you got to check this guy out. That was the first time I had ever heard Eminem rap. What was it like rapping with Eminem at that time?
Well, you know, we were on the same Rap Olympics team back then. And then we went up to actually Sway's show and we rhymed there. And that was the first time I actually heard him rhyme was on the show when we all went up there. We all kind of knew of each other from mixtapes and rhyming on radio shows, but that was the first time we actually rhymed together and we were all teammates. So that was real dope to see him there rhyming. And then just kind of like, you knew it was something different. You knew it was something different, and you just, when you heard it, it was undeniable. That's basically how I would hear it and see it. It was just undeniable. The wordplay, I don't think many people was doing the multi-syllables like that at that time, and not even just doing the multi-syllables, but every syllable meaning something. I think the potency of it, of like, instead of just saying a regular car, saying a Wrangler and then a Ranger, it was just like, it was back-to-back details. Before, it could have just been like, I'm in my car going far. Instead, he was real graphic with every detail, every syllable. So that inspired a lot of us to actually step up our game as far as thinking a little further, being graphically.
Right. You rapped in a lot of ciphers with a lot of different people. Who did you enjoy rapping in the cipher with the most?
I'll tell you, I have a story about rapping in the cipher, me and Punch rapping in the cipher with Kobe. That's one of my most memorable, Kobe Bryant.
Wow.
That's one of my most memorable moments in my life. And he was rapping. It was me, Punch, Kobe Bryant, and his boy Brody. And it was during one of those Trackmaster sessions. Yeah, it was one of those Trackmaster sessions. And at that time, even though Kobe was rhyming on the Tyra Banks doing the commercial stuff, he actually was like real into that cannabis vibe. Like he had bars. Like he was heavy. I'll never forget. He said, "I'll quantum leap into the future and battle myself." And I mean, everybody's like, "Oh," you know what I'm saying? on some MCing. But of course, you know, dealing with the business, you know, he had to alter his game on what he needed to do. And so that was one of my most memorable moments, I would say, being in the cipher with somebody. I mean, there was a lot of ciphers just in general. One of the most memorable moments was also doing a cipher that led to the Lyricist Lounge TV show. that just from doing a cipher that led to a TV show. And I remember they had it on tape, and it was like, yeah, this could be a TV show. And I was like, yeah, all right, whatever. Call me when it could be a show. And it wound up.
Wow.
Yeah, I brushed
Wait,
it off.
Tracy Ellis Ross was on that show. What was it like with an early Tracy Ellis Ross?
I think she was just trying to figure out what to do more, because it's a hip-hop show, and remember, it was something new for all of us. And I think what we were all looking at it was like a hip-hop Saturday Night Live, right? So you get all these people on one show, right? And then everybody's trying to figure out how they could branch from there. So one of the things that I learned that I wish I would have knew, but back then I didn't have the knowledge, was like she had gotten the right to go film Girlfriends while we were still doing Lounge. So once Lounge ended, she was able to go into Girlfriends. So things like that is things that I took away from learning the business, watching how things flowed like that. So yeah, it was really just knowing that I didn't have that knowledge, so being able to observe the strategy. So if you always see it now, it's like always another show, because the knowledge of the business was helpful for her.
You know, we got that time you came up to the Wake Up Show. You know, we have that like documented. We have it archived.
Yeah.
So
yeah. I mean, that was legendary for me to be up there. Of course, if you hear all these tapes and everything like that, going up there was just like, I can't believe I'm here. You know.
Were you nervous?
I appreciate it.
Were you nervous when you came into that? Because you know we were bulldogs. Like I was, you know, I was merciless on dudes who couldn't rap or didn't want to rap. I'm a softy now, Wordsworth. Heather get mad at me. I'm a softy now. I'm like, come on,
Too soft.
Yeah, I'm a softy now. But back then, you know,
I wasn't nervous. I felt like, I mean, if you're on a team, it's me, Thurston, Quest, Juice, and Eminem are teammates. There's no way I'm going to be nervous.
Yeah, that's true.
That team is almost undeniable from every aspect, whether it's a freestyle or a written rhyme. It's going to be hard to kind of, you know, go against us then. So I was just like, I just wanted to do what I was brought there to do, and just hope that it kind of went around the world the way it did.
Oh yeah, it was incredible, man. We got Wordsworth here, man. This guy's he's a hip hop juggernaut. Undivided Attention to this new album. I know on I want to say, was it a Champion Sounds album, or you got a chance you got a chance to rap with G-Rap, right?
Man, that's my favorite rapper. And
Wow,
so,
that's dope.
So what's so wild is how the world works. That album, Champion Sounds, is with me and my boy Pearl Gates. And Gates actually did a hook on Cool G Rap's album. So to repay the favor, he rapped on our album. So in turn, if I would have never met Pearl Gates, I would have probably never did a song with G Rap. So I'm always in awe by that type of energy and connecting with people, how the world works. And the new album right now is Undivided Attention. It's JF and Wordsworth. And JF, he puts out different projects, and he recruited me to do this EP. It's 7 songs, and you know, it's a great EP. One of my favorite songs on there is Memories. Me and Master Ace, and it's a great project.
You know what? Let's play that. We had that song. Remember. It's Remember.
I'm sorry. Remember. Yeah.
No, you know, and I like that song too because you mentioned Mac Dre in it, bro, and I was like, you dug in your bag and you put a assembly of names and the way you were rhyming, just paying homage to all of these different folks that came out of hip hop, and it's really beautifully done. And so we'll play this song, and then we'll open up the phone lines. Wordsworth is with us, 888-742-3345. Give us a call. Every year, losing our heroes, we still get to hear them through the music we hear. I just destroyed that line, Words. My bad.
A lot of tricky patterns here, Sway. You messing up, Sway. Don't attempt it. Do not attempt this at home. Don't leave that part.
I dove head first. My bad. But you know, that line stuck with me too when I first listened to this song, because I find myself every day watching a Michael Jackson clip. Every day. And for me, it kind of makes me feel like he's still present, like he's in Neverland somewhere. You know what I mean? And, you know, I haven't been able to do that with rap artists, though. You know, I'm able to keep the connection, you know, but perhaps because we're so close, you know, when I listen to Pac music, it reminds me he's no longer with me. You know, when I listen to Big's music, it reminds me he's no longer with me. It feels a little different for me. How is that for you?
Yeah, it's definitely it hits me because I actually can remember when I got the phone call about Biggie passing and when I got the phone call about Pac passing. So those moments stay in your mind when you receive that information. It's like I remember hearing it on the radio, you know, and I remember getting a phone call and picking up the phone and laying in bed and hearing about Biggie passing, and one tear just rolled down the side of my face because I'm still laying in bed, you know. So like stuff like that just stays with me, and remembering the impact at the time of hearing those lyrics and then how they still resonate to this time. Just those are the reasons that I think people like us, all of us, understand what it means to have integrity when writing and putting together music and songs. Is trying to make sure we're making timeless music and not just throwing something out there solely based on the music business.
Right.
Wordsworth is with us. But even thinking about this, we don't have to swim in it too long, but Fife, you worked on the Low Movement album, the TriTalk Quest album. You got a chance to work and record with them, especially at that time. What was that experience like?
I have a memorable moment from them too. When we was doing a Love Movement album, and we're doing the song "Rock Rock Y'all," and Q-Tip, to anybody that could go in there and do their verse without messing up, you get $100. So like it was fun doing stuff like that. I almost got it. I messed up on my last bar, and then watching Q-Tip go in there and do it in one take, everybody was kind of like, okay. It made you realize, like, the professionalism that he had, and just, like, how it just became something that you don't even have to think about right now. You can just go in the booth. It's just muscle memory going in there. But it also made me go, like, all right, well, there's the respect that he has for the craft, that he's willing to bet, and things like that. So it was dope making that project, man. There actually was a song that we did on one of the tracks that's an interlude on that album too, but it never came out. So, hopefully one day that'll come out too.
Okay. Rich, you want to jump into Undivided Attention?
Yeah. Really quick, because now, as coming from being an artist that was shopping a demo for a deal and getting a deal and then not having a deal, now you're the CEO, the artist, the label, all in one. How does that feel? How does that feel for you now, being completely independent and controlling everything?
For me, I think it's really just looking at understanding where I'm at, with my market value, or who I am and what I've done, and trying to like not overshoot. So like I won't press up thousands of records. I'm making sure like if I'm going to press up a certain amount, it'll recoup and then reinvest. So my mindset is different on how to do things. But then also understanding that I have to evolve from the music as well, and look at other things that I can do. So, like, looking forward of the music is more so like advertising and marketing for me to do other things like being a spokesperson here or speaking on panels here at colleges and things like that. So I just really try to make sure I'm making music that I feel is of my experiences, may say age appropriate if you want to say that, but also that it's going to put me in another, down the line, sets me up down the line. So that's pretty much how I look at it nowadays. It's really about doing anything that allows me to set up down the line for other gigs, you could say, or other ways that I can still contribute to the culture.
Nice. My favorite song is Sinister. I love Sinister. How did that song come about?
Yeah, that track was actually already named Sinister, and when Jay DePina sent it to me, I felt like it just was something in which I could still kind of show my skills on a competitive level, but at the same time bring the world into what's going on socially and what's going on in the world today. So I try to make sure when I'm writing these rhymes, I'm more of a storyteller of whether it's current events, past events, and things like that. But it also maintains the entertainment of the wordplay. So that's the main thing for me. It's making sure it has that wordplay. And it's one of those like grimy tracks that you throw it on and you start driving with it. You're gonna nod your head and get captivated by the bars all in one. And it's always, like I said, it's talking about stuff that's current.
Speaking of wordplay, I'm curious if you think that there is an advantage of choosing an MC name versus going with your actual government name. What you feel like the fine print and advantage of that is, and why you ultimately chose to do that.
I think I just chose that because that's what was going on at the time, you know. So if it would have been kind of this regular name, I'd have probably went regular name with it. But we're coming up under our favorites and under people that we love and watching them with these names, these creative names, and you're like, what's going to be my name? So it was more so just following what's going on with the times. I think now that I've evolved, now I'm more so understanding, you know, using my real name, and then in the middle I'll have like Wordsworth, so it'll be like Vincent Wordsworth Johnson, because I've evolved to doing other things. But either or, I think it's a great thing, either or. But I just think it's really just because I was a fan of all the people I loved had a different name.
Got it.
Hey, words. In the song "As I Am," one of the first lyrics you say is, "Every year I'm in your lyricist list," and to me that's just the spirit of an MC. But I also wonder, you know, early on, that's always important. You want to be on people's lists. You want to prove yourself. You want folks to recognize your skill set. You even speaking on Sinister, talking about showing off, making sure you're telling these stories, but you also showing your skill, your wordplay. Is it still important to be in people's top 10 to you?
Yeah, I think it is. I think it keeps you wanting to strive for something. I think you should always be trying to strive for something. You should have some type of objectives that you're trying to strive for to reach that goal. So definitely that's the competitive nature. I don't feel no different as far as how hungry I was when I started to now. Like, I don't feel no different because I make sure that I'm maintaining the integrity of when I'm coming with a verse, it's something nobody ever thought of. I remember I thought about that before, walking into a store one day when they used to have record stores and seeing thousands of CDs and cassettes and all that on the wall. And despite all of that on the wall, I still can say something different from everybody. So I hold that in high regards because we're talking about hundreds of years of poetry that's written, artists that have never come out that have said something. There's people that are putting music out not being heard, and I have opportunity to be heard. So if I'm going to be heard, I'm not going to waste a word, and I'm not going to waste your time because I know that everything is a rippling effect, right? So what you're doing, Sway, and what everybody out there is doing, there's somebody listening to y'all like, I want to do that. So let's not waste no time because we are setting these standards. So I just want to make sure I'm maintaining these standards going forward.
Love it.
I love it too. Wordsworth is here. The album is the EP is Undivided Attention. Hey, I heard you talk about you and your kids go back and forth about who's better than who. How do your kids like your music?
Well, I think my kids like my music because for the most part, first of all, I don't curse on my albums. So my kids, they listen to it and they get to see another side of like, okay, you could be lyrical without doing that. So I'm just trying to give them another way. But I listen to everything they listen to. I listen to all the Meg Thee Stallion with them in the car. I listen to everything in the car that they listen to. But then again, they'll also pop up with me and hit me with some artists. They play J. Cole in the car. They play Kendrick in the car. I think me being diverse and understanding what it is allows them to understand there's no one way to do it. So I love, like I tell my daughter, Sade, she's the best person in the car to ride with. She got everything, you know. She's saying everything. And then my oldest just came from a 21 Pilots concert. But then, you get in the car, she throwing some Kendrick. So, for the diversity of the music, I think they've embraced, which I want them to, country music and everything, because a lot of times coming up, I was just so hip-hop. I didn't even learn to embrace other stuff until I got older, until So maybe when I met Rich Nice and people like that understood that was like, yo, it's music business. You know what I'm saying? Like, you should like everything. So you can work with this artist. You can work with that artist. So it wasn't until then that I understood the fact that you gotta broaden out.
Got to broaden out. Wordsworth, man, big round of applause. This is a great conversation, brother. Appreciate everything you're doing. We got room for a lot more conversation, especially because you got a master's of music business. We might have to do a Wordsworth segment about the music business, man. Nah, for real. You laughing?
Nah, I got some good news, though. I got some news about that, too. So I'm actually going to be having a virtual 4-course module that I'm doing for the University of Miami. So I'll be filming that soon. So it's based off four courses that I created. So it's all me. And that's one of the biggest things about it for me is the fact that I created all 4 courses and what's in them. So look out for that. And also I'll be at South by Southwest Educational Conference May 7th through the 11th. And I got another book dropping around February. So it's just staying on top of it.
Well, when that book drop, won't you come back on the show, and we could talk more. Okay. And that way we could promote those other things coming up. Congratulations on creating your own curriculums, man. That's amazing. He comes from hip-hop, y'all.
Love it.
Round of applause. Look what hip-hop can do. Come on, get the new album, Undivided Attention. Words, what you want to hear, Sinister or Undivided Attention? Pick one.
Let's go with Sinister.
Here it is, man. We appreciate you, Words. All right? It's Wordsworth. Have a beautiful day, brothers.